All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Munro Live. I'm joined by Sandy's better half, Sue. So we're going to be doing first impressions on a brand new Lightning that we got. We've got a Platinum, in fact. So we're pretty excited about it. So we'll take a look at the outside, the inside, and we'll close it out with the Frunk.
Sounds great.
So to get started, Sue, what do you see here?
So, you know, it's interesting, right? So we have this Lightning, and I think it has all the earmarks of almost a traditional ICE vehicle, right? I don't think it's a really big departure. The grille, I mean, even though this is a closeout, I mean, exception of the fact that there's no slats in here, it kind of has that same grille appearance, even though it's an electric car.
Yes.
Most EVs I see have a more clean front end, but they kind of kept that appearance of a real grille, even though it's a closeout. So I thought that was a little bit of a departure.
Yeah, and what I like about it is they're trying to appeal to two audiences, right? So one audience set is brand new electric vehicle owners that want an electric vehicle, but they want the utility. Great for that.
Right.
The other audience is existing truck owners, right? So they're trying to give you, as Sue had mentioned, some of those same truck marquees or
cues,
yeah. Right? But they're getting the aero benefit of closing all this out, right? So they got a nice slippery front end for the air to get around, not a lot of pockets for turbulence to get sucked up in, and good execution. And I like the light bar.
I do like the light bar as well. The full LED light headlights, it's beautiful. So I like the execution. I think there's a lot of geometry going on here, but I think the fit and finish looks really quite nice for everything that is actually happening here.
Yeah, and I think they did an excellent job at covering up some of the elements for park assist, lane departure, all of those things. They're really well hidden, right? So you see the ultrasonic sensors, body color, the camera black right below the emblem.
You can't even see that. That's very good. Yeah.
Right. There's not a lot of things that stick out at you like, oh, what is that? They did a good job at obscuring it, which gives you a relatively clean look in some of those areas.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And if you walk around the side, again, you got the same Ford styling cue with the lower section on the door for increased visibility. That's a standard Ford iconic styling theme that they carried over. Again, with the keypad, that is standard Ford. So again, if you're a traditional Ford buyer, this is going to appeal to you right off the bat. There's not a big departure in execution here, and I think that speaks volumes to somebody who does want to go to the EV, but might be a little bit hesitant to go in this direction. And honestly, if this will be your first EV truck, I think it would be something very easy to slide right into.
Absolutely. And I love, from a usability perspective, or utilitarian perspective, the lights that they give you in the side view mirrors if you're working outdoors, right? If you pull up, the whole sort of ethos behind this truck seems to be utility, right? So there's outlets everywhere, up to 30 amps in some specific outlets, and you've got lighting 360 degrees around the vehicle. So wherever it is, you can work, and that's great.
Yeah. And again, a nice clean appearance, not a whole lot of chrome going on, but nice details with a nice the ebony, shiny piano black details, which is also really nice. Yeah,
and that's a great point. And I actually really like how on that piano
black, I saw that little,
they set it into this window molding. So
I thought that was nice.
Very
nicely
clean.
Executed.
Yep.
As well.
And then one thing I was kind of expecting to see, but I didn't see on this vehicle, is on the Lightning specifically, they did not offer, at least they don't currently, deployable running boards. What I mean by that are these step sides. So if you go to build one of these vehicles on their site, you don't get deployable running boards, but one thing that we're going to take a look at as we lift it up and we start looking at the packaging of it all, they may be running into one of their trailing links and or some of the battery monuments underbody. So at the end of the day, regardless of what you pay for the vehicle, you still have to be able to package it.
You got it. You walk around the back. Of course, who can't like the badging with the execution of the lightning bolt? I love that. And the American-made flag and the tailgate, that speaks to its local manufacturing strategy. So again, with the carryover of the light bar that matches the back to the front, I like the consistency of the theme of the truck.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job not making any of the badging or anything too gaudy.
Right.
But it's very clearly something special.
But that's a little subtlety that I think it's like if you're a Ford a proud Ford owner, that would be like you'd resonate to that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And they give you nice
touch. Yeah.
Yep, nice touch, power tailgate.
Standard deployable step with the handle assist, right, Jordan?
Yep, and this isn't specific to a Lightning, I don't believe, but
no.
Just some basic features for the whether you're a residential or doing work on your home or a commercial guy. You've got some nice little features: measuring cup holder, tablet, and then as I had mentioned, the lighting 360 degrees around the truck.
Right.
As the tailgate drops, you expose some additional lighting here, so you really do have a workstation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do like this lining. I really like this lining. I don't know if this is standard on all their Ford trucks, but I really do like this lining. It is so well executed. It's just, it's amazing. This very ruggedized lining. I like it.
Yeah, and I agree. And I love how on these bolts, right? So these are one of the last things that are going to be installed on this bed assembly. So the whole thing's probably going to come to the line, mostly built up. And a lot of OEMs, you'll see when they do the Line X or the Duraline, whatever you want to call this, probably Line X, the bolts will not be coated because they are the last thing to be done. But in this case, they took the extra care to actually go over the bolts as well. So
and they won't get rusty.
They won't get rusty.
This is nice, very nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've got your interior lighting.
Yep.
This one came with the accessories, the box link type system, so that you can hook up ramps or storage bins or what have you. And then obviously, like I was mentioning, they've got some excellent power outlets in the bed.
Yeah, it's really a true utility truck, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
This is what Ford's known for, and this is a work truck. Unlike some of the other truck EV market that's out there, this is true utilitarian, and it's obviously going to be mass produced. They definitely have the capability to pull this off.
Yeah, and no lost bed space, nothing weird in the bed that makes the normal truck buyer think, oh, well, this is why I didn't get an electric vehicle, right? It doesn't give you that effect. So, yeah.
And maybe even more than expected, I think.
I agree.
I think that's really cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you want to make our way to cabin side and we can take a look at the interior?
Do you want to get on the other side?
Yeah, yeah.
You can immediately see how luxurious this interior is, right?
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Leather seats, right? Full leather seats, pretty much full leather seats.
Yeah, all the main seating surfaces appear to be actual leather versus vinyl, so nice touch there.
Right.
Plenty of light.
See,
right?
it's pretty easy to get in with that assist handle right here. It's nice.
Yep.
Nice entry egress. It's a truck though. You have lots of room, so it's really good.
Yeah, and then one thing that I really like, and this obviously is not specific to a Lightning, right? This is F-Series trucks if you get the right trim level. You've got the Prindle, right?
Yep.
So Prindle, we mean P-R-I-N-D-L,
I love it, yes.
right? It tucks away, and then...
You got your workspace, right?
Yeah, and this is fantastic.
Right. This is a good contracting tool, or when you need to bring your laptop, right, to quote and things like that.
Or it makes me think of on family trips to put your food with the kids.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yes.
Yeah. No, this is great.
It is very nice. A little bit of detail, right? So they got the brushed chrome, but then they got the wood accents, and again, I thought this was really interesting execution of an IP, because again, I'm used to a lot of the other EVs with a very austere interior, and yet here we have a lot more knobs and buttons than I'm used to seeing. Again, very traditional execution, unlike some of the other EVs that are out there. So again, like we spoke to before, I think it's much easier to transition into this. It's more familiar to most people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we always used to talk about it with some of our OEM clients, right? There's a perfect science to the number of hard buttons versus the number of soft buttons, and which ones those are, where they're placed. And so, to me, echoing your point, it's very clear that they put a lot of thought into where those buttons go. And frankly, it seems like a great integration of like a previously ICE platform with a BEV product.
Right. And I do like, so some people prefer to have the horizontal screen, but I think the vertical screen does work well in here. And obviously the controls that you would use the most, your HVAC and some heated seat functionality, is all at your fingertips. I think it's an easy reach for you.
Yep.
And it's not the horizontal screen would put you much further over here, and I think that in a truck of this size, it would probably not work from the ergonomics of it. So I think this is well executed, and it's a fairly big screen, so it's easy to see. You don't have to like squint and get close, because I've seen a few other, when I've been in my EVs, they're like the print's a little bit smaller, and you're really having to pay attention where you place your finger. So I think this is well executed, this screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these are some areas when we,
Yeah.
you know, when the larger OEMs, Ford, GM, Chrysler, start getting online in terms of electrified vehicles, these are some of the things or the nuances that
Yes.
people like Rivian, like Tesla, like, you know, NIO and
Right.
Geely, some of the,
Right.
you know, the APAC market vehicles are going to have trouble competing in.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. These guys have been doing this for a really long time. They're very sensitive to vision and placement of the elements in the vehicle for your comfort and safety, actually. So, yeah, this is really well executed. I'm not used to seeing all this, but I know what these controls are from my past ICE days, so this is not unfamiliar. And I think it's interesting. And I like this big volume button, so you don't have to find that and try to push a button or a lever. This one's so simple, because when the phone rings, you just want to get to that button and turn that volume down uber fast,
100%,
right?
absolutely.
So
yeah.
that's always one thing I didn't like in the other vehicles.
Yeah,
So-
I'm really excited to when we actually get it on the road and take it
Yep.
for a drive, how all of their Blue Cruise functionality works and how easy that is, because no one seems to have narrowed that down. Like
Yeah.
there's no standardized way
Yes.
to execute that. So
Yep.
really interested to see that. Oh yeah, another bin
I just
down
wanted
here.
to see what was going on in there. And standard Ford or OEM specific details, the number of cup holders, they spend a lot of time executing exactly where they should be, how big they should be, and there's just so many opportunities to store in different sizes. So that's another thing they just do very, very well.
Yeah,
Tons
absolutely.
of storage capability, that's
Yeah.
for sure. And they have a traditional glove box. A lot of EVs don't have them, so it's nice that there's a traditional glove box in some ways.
Yeah,
So I like that.
yeah. No, it's
Do you know
like
do you know how to open this
I
one?
think it's this guy right here.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay. That's good. I didn't even know that was there. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a similar compartment in one of my vehicles,
no
and
wonder,
my
yeah.
wife says, "Well, that's my shelf.
Yeah.
That's my wife's shelf." So she puts
That's
all of her
sungla-
stuff
yeah,
there.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
yeah,
Yeah. No, it's just very nice interior. The standard, like the sunglass case.
yep.
Is it dual? This is dual motion.
Dual pane. So I think the front pane. We can go ahead and actuate it here. I think the front pane is going to open, and the rear one is static.
Okay.
Right. So it goes back, and then it'll also vent. So tip
Okay.
forward.
All right.
And then the shade is powered, so you're not reaching back and
Okay.
grabbing anything. So
Very nice.
yeah, it's great.
Tons of legroom. It is a truck, of course. But let's see what that back legroom looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
I suspect it's a. By the way, I'm loving these floor mats. I don't know if these are standard or not, but boy, I do like these.
Yeah, they
These
even
are
got
truly functional.
the F-150 graphics. It goes all the way over the sill. So
Yep, I like that. The water drain, it will come right out. I like that.
Right.
It's really nice, really nice.
Yeah, for all you
Again,
weather tech fans out
super
there.
easy to get out. I really like that.
You know, Sue, before we actually hop in,
Yeah.
there was something on the floor that I noticed which was pretty great. I thought anyways. So the seats just fold up nicely.
Oh, this is like the standard, but the ICE version has this
Correct.
capability, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
So this
And
is, they carry this over. Yeah.
Right, so they've got this nice little compartment.
Yep.
These levers to lock
Oh,
it in
like it,
place.
yeah.
And then even in the center, they've got a little divider.
Oh,
that
so you
snaps
can
in.
partition so your groceries don't roll all over the car.
Exactly. Now, when we talk about compromise, you're like, well, what are they compromising? It's sort of flat, and they get this. Well, a lot of OEMs that we've worked with really strive to have a truly flat
Right.
floor. So they do give up a little bit there in terms of a bump, but I would say,
Yeah.
for me,
Right.
I like this.
Yeah, I like this as well.
Yep.
I mean, if I do have groceries, I'd put them on the seat, or I would probably prefer, so I'd stick them in here so they don't go roll around. And
Right.
again, I like these really large rubberized floor mats. If it's a work truck, that's a necessity. Absolutely.
And then the back seats, the last little thing that's sort of hidden but obvious if you go to move it, is that they actually lock in place in the
Yeah,
back.
mine's locked. Yeah.
Right, and so you pull that little lever and they'll
Yep.
come back down. Some other OEMs don't do that, and they leave it so that you can just pull them whenever you want.
Oh, and it goes this way too.
It goes that way as
because
well.
we got the jack here.
The jack
okay.
and tools kit.
Does that one fold down or just this side?
I think it's just that side.
Yeah, that, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because we've got the retractor here for the middle belt. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's hop in, see what we think.
Okay.
Nice armrest here.
Easy to get in and out. Well, we got lots of headroom. Yeah, lots of leg room for sure.
Yeah, the back is more spacious than the front.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just nice. It's comfortable. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job on the back angle.
Yes. Most times you're like,
You're
forced-
too upright.
Yeah, too upright. They
Yeah.
got this. Now these don't adjust in any way, shape, or form, right? No.
No, I don't believe these do. Now, their competitor, the Ram, does. So
Okay.
it will shift forward, I believe, 25
Yeah.
millimeters, or a centimeter, 2.5 centimeters. So give you a little bit of extra angle there. Or if you want some more space between the thigh area and the console, you can shift it back up. But
So am I seeing I can get seated heat
yep,
in the rear?
yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you've got
Oh,
seat
that's
heaters.
I did not know that.
2 settings for each back there. That's
Yep,
great.
that
I'm
is
curious if they heat the center. I don't think so.
I suspect not as well.
Yep.
But you can easily fit 3 people. If you have a family, you can get 5 people in here super easy.
Absolutely.
Right?
And then here they've got more outlets. And
Yeah, so you can work back here.
And they're 20 amp outlets. So-
Nice.
So that's not insignificant. You could actually really run
Mm-hmm.
some stuff off of 20 amps, So it's great.
So, Jordan, I'm just noticing how far this seat back is compared to this one. So, I think you had discussed before that this seat is potentially even flat folding if you adjust it properly.
Yeah, so this thing goes down. I believe this is new for this generation F-150. So the seat will go almost perfectly flat. So you'll see now the center is coming back up, right? So normally if you try and lay a seat back, this will go right into your lumbar area. But that goes almost flat. So if you're on a road trip, you need to make a long journey, I don't know
Yeah.
if you're a contractor, you need to take a nap at lunch.
Okay. And then
Nice
this-
little feature. And then
Yeah.
this is also adjustable within a few degrees.
Yeah.
So it can go all the way flat, or within a few clicks, you can
Yeah,
adjust
and then I
this
can
as
adjust
well.
this the same. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. A little ratchet. Okay.
Yeah, so although it seems like, oh, big deal, it folds flat, when we get into the seat structure, it's actually a pretty big feat to make this happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's speakers in here, correct? Because I'm seeing the symbol, so I'm
I
guessing.
think so. I think they took their Bang Olufsen
Yeah.
system and
I can almost feel like the 2 areas where the
pockets.
yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely. This is a very, very luxurious seating. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I even like the door panels. I mean, we got a little soft brush chrome with a little wood and a little bit of leather and nice stitching. It's, yeah.
Yeah, and then they bring the Alcantara
Yep.
here, right? So the Alcantara, the
Alcantara,
suede.
little detail. Yeah.
Yep, right here. They bring some of the chrome through nicely, not too much.
Yep.
Too much chrome just gets too shiny
Right.
for
Too
me.
shiny.
Yep.
Yep.
No, this is
Yeah.
good. So what do you think, Sue? You want to take a look at the Frunk and
Yeah.
wrap
Let's
it
do
up?
that. So Jordan, I just noticed that, so the charging port is actually on the left side, right?
Correct.
This is just a duplicate detail?
If I had to guess, I believe that's for left-hand, right-hand drive or other
Oh,
markets.
So in case they need to, that's a very good thought.
Yeah, so European application, 1, it serves as a nameplate, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But 2, if you need to swatch charging port sides,
Yep.
they can do it.
So a little forward thinking. That's,
It is.
again, it's a traditional OEM sort of perspective
Right.
that they would think of something like this.
What are the
Yes.
total number of options we
Yep.
need to fit in
Yep.
here? Yeah. So how about this?
It's huge. I could crawl in here and lay down. Not a problem. It is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
something that, when we look at previous generations of F-150s, it's hard to say whether it was by happenstance or it was purposeful from more than a decade ago. But the only way that you really get a Frunk with a berth or an opening this wide is because their headlamps were always sort of vertically turned, right? I'm talking about orientation, wrapped to the front of the vehicle, and they stayed relatively
Right.
far outboard. If you look at the current generation Ram,
That's a good
you'll
point.
notice that they wrap around to the front.
That's a good point.
And so I would be willing to bet that the Ram guys are like, man, we could probably do it, but our headlamps are just right in the way.
Right.
And so again, I don't know if that was by happenstance or if that was deliberate from day one, but it turned out great for them in terms of the Frunk opening.
Absolutely, it is big. And this is a, you said that before, this is a unique plastic composition?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about the threshold piece per se, but I believe the bin or the primary tub is an SMC.
It's very structural, right? You can,
Right.
It's solid.
Right, so that's a sheet molding compound. So
Yep.
you can get a fair amount of form and an incredible amount of structure.
Right.
Right, so if you see right here, 400-pound load capacity for the Frunk.
Yep.
So yeah, out of this, if I'm correct in that this is SMC, you get some really good properties out of this, and you can get a lot of features into one big tool or part versus having to break this up into 10 other parts. So
Right.
if you were to lift up these mats, you can see that that surface is just one nominal
yeah,
surface.
Yeah. And this, so I didn't even know they carried this ruler profile into this space as well, which I saw in the back. I didn't know it was here until I noticed. And this gets, you can turn this around, correct? And then, so that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so if you want your more rubberized surface on the
Yeah.
top, you can do that. Otherwise,
Right.
flip it over and you've got some additional features.
Yep. And then your standard electrical outlet here to power all your tools, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So it's just amazing to have all that and all this space. Really, this is just, I hate to say free space,
Yeah.
but no other vehicle in the
Yeah.
market has this much space in the Frunk.
There's just a ton of functionality in this truck. I mean, this is, I think this sort of breaks the EV barrier for full-size, mid-size utility trucks. It's EV, fully functional, more functionality than you would get in a traditional ICE vehicle.
Absolutely.
At a price point that I think is fairly reasonable. And again, they're going to mass produce these and they'll be able to get that price point down even further as time goes on. I think it's a good value for the dollar.
I couldn't agree more, you know, and you know, looking at this, even though this is the first generation, you're seeing, again, this is one of the benefits of being in business so long, is they're thinking about all of the major things as far as cargo storage, load capacity. When they say 400 pounds,
They mean it.
they mean 400 pounds, and I highly doubt that it's just the panel. It's the entire
thing.
interior.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and then they're even providing some features here so that probably, so if you're dragging something heavy off that has sharp edges, you're not catching the bulb seal and tearing it off.
And if you are going to scrape something, you're only going to scrape these little high points instead of the entire panel. So when it comes to these types of feature-rich, full usage sort of capabilities, they know how to master this. They really understand their buyer and they execute very well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they give you some nice lighting on the interior that you can toggle on and off, which is great.
Right.
Yeah.
And convenient for you always complain about this windshield, you know, Phil, but there it is. It's if there's a little bit of overspill, it's just going to go down there. It's not a big deal. Super convenient. So yeah.
Well, and the nice thing is, you don't need to worry about engine oil anymore.
No, windshield washer.
No,
but
right.
Too.
But that's about it. Everything else is non-serviceable. It's they're sealed drive units more than likely.
Yeah.
The battery pack is sealed, and that's that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I like the truck. All said, I like the truck.
I do too. Now I just can't wait to see what they did underneath to package all the stuff under it.
Oh yeah, that's next.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we can probably go ahead and wrap it up. Please stay tuned. We're going to be turning into this very shortly, and so we'll be following this up with some ride and drive, some more in-depth interior reviews, and some reviews of the underbody. So stay tuned.
Sounds exciting.
Thanks for joining.